Do that.
You are listening and looking live at the Hey It's Rico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast. Welcome in. I'm Michael Govier, along with my co-host Christopher Deary. Palazzo Podcast at ProtonMail.com. Palazzo Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, all your favorite social media platforms. 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah, give me 2.
We are in business. It's the fabulous FAAB and Streamers Show. We do this every Sunday night at about 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Deary, this is becoming my favorite show.
Yeah, because you have a million teams, you have a million opportunities for FAAB. I have one.
Yeah, no, well, that's a negative. That's not fun for me at all. But
it's fun to talk about it, though.
I can see that point. I can see that.
Absolutely.
I wanted to give a shout out here to my guy, Anthony. Anthony Gialdi. Anthony, I got the shirt. Look at this. It's awesome. Kansas City Moose. Anthony sent this to me.
That's sweet.
Very cool.
I
love it. You can't see this on the podcast, but it says Kansas City Moose. And then it also says Vegas 2021. I'm not sure what that means. Anthony, if you're out there, let us know. I don't get it, but I love the shirt. So thank you so much. I like Moose. Don't you?
Marty Moose. Yeah, absolutely.
Marty Moose. Marty Moose. So on today's show, it's real simple. We're going to talk about who we're picking up this week, who's got the best schedule, who's going to benefit the most, what players are we targeting this week. It's all going to happen here on this very brief, quick 1-hour edition of the Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast, which is part of the Roto Fanatic Podcast Network. I would like you to know that we have some excellent stuff that comes out on the weekend. We got schedule factors from Crosby Spencer. Awesome. Lays out the whole week schedule for you. Who benefits, who doesn't. Then we got closing remarks from Mike Carter, Mr. Doctor, full bullpen breakdown all across the league. And then the infirmary report from Dave Funnell. You should be following all three of these guys, Crosby Spencer, Dave Funnell, and Mr. Dr. Mike Carter, and reading these articles because they have everything you need to know for a brand new week of fantasy baseball. Injuries, bullpens, and schedule. Boom! Say no more, dear. There it is.
They should call the IL the infirmary. I like that.
Yeah, well, Dave Funnell does a great fucking job. He really does. Sam Jacobowitz is in the house. It's good to see you, Sam. What's up, my man? Sam traded DJ LeMahieu for Aroldis Chapman and Liam Hendricks. He thinks it was a good move. What do you think, Deary?
You're shutting down your bullpen. I mean, Chapman's been absolutely lights out now that he's added a third pitch. Like he's just deadly. He got 3 saves in the last week, and the Yankees are starting to heat up a little bit. And Hendricks has been back too. The last couple outings, he's looked pretty good. He did give up a home run last night to tie the game up, but he's not having a problem striking guys out. He's going to end up with a ton of saves. So I'm fine with that. You got 2 lockdown closers, 2 guys that you know you can depend on in a environment where bullpens are volatile. We have no idea what's going to go with them. These guys are 2 guys that are certainly going to get the opportunities, and they'll both probably end up with over 30 saves. I think it's a good move.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great move. Chapman looks to be right now one of the most reliable closers in all of the land. So I think it's a smart move too, because you don't have to worry about injuries with him. I know he's probably been on the IL a couple times, but not very often. He's pretty durable, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even a couple of years ago, there was like a downtick in his fastball, but like it's back up to 99, 100 right now. And now that he's added this third pitch, which is like this like power sinker that he throws at like 92, he's unstoppable. So he's really just elongated his career with this third pitch. So if that fastball goes away to where it's only like 93, 94, he's going to be fine with the other stuff he's got.
Chapman. He made a mistake when he was younger, but he's moved on from that. He's growing. He's matured. Good for you, Mr. Aroldis. Brian K's with us. As always, Brian never misses a show. He went out to dinner, and he can't wait to watch later. Have a great show. Oh, he's not watching. Oh, okay. But Brian at least popped in. You know, that's a dedicated, loyal part of our Palazzo Pod community. Brian K, my man, shout out to you, Brian. Had to go out to dinner, but he still popped in to drop a comment on the show. I love that. Much respect to you, Brian. All right, so this week, it doesn't look like the most exciting week that we've had with 4 weeks of FAAB and waiver wire moves. It's looking a little more dry. Is there one name, though, that's like, you got to have it, Deary? I got to have so-and-so this week. Is there one name that sticks out in particular?
I'm going between 2 guys right now, either the hitter or the pitcher, but I think it's Chris Flexen right now. I put a bid out for him. He's looked really good so far through 23 innings. He's given up 7 runs, 21 Ks through 23 innings, which is really encouraging. 2.62 ERA for a Mariners team that's doing really well. I think Chris Flexen is a real nice add this week in FAAB.
Chris Flexen is a guy I loved opening weekend. I remember he pitched very well in his first start against San Francisco, I believe. And I have no objections. He was playing in the Korea, I think, in the KBO, and now he's back. He's got a little more experience. He's added a breaker, I think. He's got a better slider, or I'm not sure exactly what his breaking pitch is, but it's improved, and it's going to give him more strikeouts. So I think it's a great call. Pitching in Boston's not easy, and you got to give a guy credit there.
Yeah, absolutely. He shut him down yesterday. So
shut him down. Shut him down. Shut him down.
Hasn't been getting hit hard at all, and I think it's a good move going forward. I think he's in that rotation now, and he's going to be an opportunity to help your team out. So I have no idea what bids are going to go out for him. He's kind of the only. I mean, there's a couple pitchers out there. Kyle Gibson looked really good last night, even though he didn't get the win, but he only gave up one run against the Rangers. And is this the time? Like, is Kyle Gibson like a fantasy option now? People liked him when he moved over last year over to the Rangers and thinking, oh, maybe Kyle Gibson, maybe new start, new place. And he's looked pretty decent so far. I do have a small bid in for Gibson as well.
Apparently, he added a cutter that is good now. That's the rumor. Somebody made a great joke in reference to Jeff Zimmerman. I can't remember who it was. You know, Twitter, just endless feeds of information. And somebody made a comment about, Kyle Gibson added a so-so cutter in the offseason. Watch out. But apparently, it's more than so-so. This could be very, very good. Sam Jacobowitz says, I'm about to pick up Chris Sale. When this dude comes back, he could be an ace-like pitcher. Well, he is an ace-like pitcher. I think we already know that. But the question is, how many innings are you going to get out of him this year? And is it worth stashing? Your IL spots with all the injuries that are already out there in the first place and your bench are going to go into the decision regarding guys like Sale, Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah, it's tough. I have him sitting on in one of my redraft leagues. He's sitting on the IL right now, and I don't know how many innings I'm going to get back from him. The worry from a guy that comes back from an injury like that is how does that factor into your mental attitude when you're out on the mound? Like, are you thinking about that injury? Are you thinking about re-aggravating it? Like, that is something that probably toys with a lot of guys, mental makeup. So that'll be one thing that I'm really interested to see. We'll see. I mean, they're saying what, early June, late mid July, maybe.
We don't really know. We don't
know.
No.
I mean, I know he's at the site now.
He's been fucking around, and they already said there was a delayed something happened in early April or late March, which slowed his progress. So who knows?
I mean, they're gonna make sure that he's 100% healthy and right, not only physically but mentally, before they throw him back out on the mound, because they got a lot of money invested in this guy, and he's only he's 33 now, maybe 32. He's still pretty young.
Yeah, he's not put out to pasture by any means, but it's just a matter of what are you going to get and how much room do you have to maneuver in your league. That's what it's all about to me. And I don't think his talent is doubted at all. And if the team is as good as it looks, Boston looks like a really solid team. Having Sale for the second half of the year could be a real nice boost to your fantasy baseball squad. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, if he comes back and looks good, he has value either for your team, or you could ship him off and get some guys who will be dependable for the rest of the year.
Hell yes, my friend. I am so excited. Anybody else that you're looking forward to this week, dearie? Anybody else on your mind just before we dive into some more details?
Adolis Garcia. He's looked really good. He's now batting like 4th or 5th for Texas every night. I think he had 3 home runs this week. So that's probably going to be the hottest name out there in most TGFBI leagues if he is available.
Okay. Ryan on the live chat, by the way. Ryan is part of the live stream where you could comment on every time we do the show. Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on YouTube at Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's and 2 Z's, just in case you confuse the spelling.
Utah.
Gary Busey.
Give me 2.
Is always there to remind you. Ryan says that I predict Sale throws under 50 innings this season. He will be babied. Ryan, not a fan. Not optimistic about Sale. And I'm not sure. It looks like he had some Red Sox colors in his avatar, but it says trust the process. It doesn't mean that he's a Red Sox guy at all. Right, Ryan?
Oh, that's a Sixers thing, right? Basketball.
Trust the process. God, that was ages ago. Good old, what's his name? Sam. How can I forget his name?
Sam Cassell?
No, the guy who came up with that whole plan. Sam, what's his face? I cannot believe it. You remember that guy?
No.
The GM who said trust the process, and he made the whole thing happen. And okay.
I don't know any GMs in NBA.
You know the NBA. That's bullshit. Anyways, Ryan says, Sam Jacobowitz says, you're guessing he comes back in August. That's very low in Sam's opinion. I just think with Sale, it's always very uncertain. So debating this is kind of futile in my opinion. Presto, says Sam. Sam says presto. I've never seen that in the live chat. That's hilarious. Sam Hinkie, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Sam fucking Hinkie of the 76ers. All right. Oh, Yancey's with us.
So he's saying Govey's green screen isn't working.
Oh, I'll make it work. Yeah.
He can't. Yeah, watch what happens, Yance. He has a green shirt on.
I'm a floating head now.
You're like Marty McFly in Back to the Future when he starts to disappear while playing guitar on stage.
Yeah, that's a good one. Sam Presti was on OKC. Okay, now we're getting lost in the weeds on NBA shit. All right, but thank you, Sam. Sam Hinkie was the correct answer. I appreciate that. Anyways, Yancey's here. Good to see you, Yancey. Here's my floating head for those of you in the live stream. See, if you're in the podcast, you're missing my floating head right now. That's top-notch entertainment, if you ask me. All right, let's cut the shit and let's get into this. Yancey says it's better this way, to be honest. Thanks, Yancey. You saying something about my body? How dare you? This week, schedule-wise, we got some teams that are playing 7 games, which is always wonderful news for me because 7 games means more stats for everybody. Yay! Woohoo! The Yankees have 7. And check this out. They got 7 games against Baltimore and Detroit total. That is a nice slate. This might be the week where the Yankees offense rises. What do you say, Deary?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. Are they in Baltimore? Do you know?
Yeah, they are at Baltimore, yes. 4 at Camden and then 3 at home against our Tigers.
Okay, and Baltimore's best pitcher, John Means, just pitched today, so they're going to escape him. And Detroit can't score runs, and they give up a ton of home runs. So look for the Yankees to have a big power week for sure. They might go 7-0 this week.
That's ridiculous. Baltimore's a fun team. They ended Oakland's winning streak today, right?
I'm calling it right now. The Yankees go 7-0 this week.
Oh, yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, I can respect that. I'm a little shocked, but I respect you.
Well, they're not losing to the Tigers. They might lose to Baltimore. Absolutely.
Dude, the Tigers' offense is god-awful right now. It's so bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on. There's not even a Akil Badu fund to go. It's just all trash. And empty numbers.
I mean, what would you expect? Look at the lineups they're throwing out there. None of these guys are any good.
Well, Miguel Cabrera came back today, so that's good news.
Great.
Would you be
what
targeting
do you do,
Miguel
strike
Cabrera?
Out? Yeah. No.
You would not be targeting him if you're in a 15-team league, he's not worth picking up?
No.
No.
For what?
Okay. I don't know. I'm just asking.
RBI opportunities? Those don't exist. Is he going to hit a home run? He's coming back from a bicep injury. No.
Okay, fine.
No, I'm out on all Tigers fantasy-wise, except maybe Spencer Turnbull.
Yeah. Now there we go. Now, I think we'll talk about 2-start pitchers shortly. He's close. He's borderline. He might be in play. I'll have to double-check that. But Ryan says, oh, no, Gleyber Torres is playing his favorite team, the Orioles. That's right. That's right. That's a really good point, Ryan. If you're a Gleyber Torres owner, it's going to be a good week for you. 4 games in Baltimore.
I am, and I'm still waiting for him to heat up.
It can't get any worse, though, right? It cannot get any worse than this.
It's been a little bit of bad luck. All
right, we're glad you're all with us here talking about fantasy baseball in the week that's coming. The Yankees have 7 games, so target those Yankees. They're going up against the likes of Matt Harvey. God, in DFS, I would heavily be targeting a couple of Yankee stacks this week. There's got to be some opportunities against guys like Jorge Lopez and Matt Harvey. The Astros also have 7 games this week. They got 4 against Seattle and 3 against Tampa Bay. So that's good news. There's also the Atlanta Braves. 4 against Chicago Cubs and 3 against Toronto. And I think, and then Oakland, Seattle, and the Dodgers. So there's a lot of 7-game schedules this week, which is good news for you guys out there if you are owners or targeting any players from those teams. All right, so let's take a look at more FAAB pickups. 2-start pitchers this week. What about Ryan Weathers? Like, not even a 2-star, just a guy that we talked about on the show earlier in the week, and he looked really, really promising. He's a youngster. He's a first round pick from 2018, 7th overall. Son of David Weathers, as you informed me on the last show, Deary. How much is too much for Ryan Weathers?
For a FAAB bid? That's really interesting. Who's he got this week?
Well, the Dodgers, 7-game slate. It's going to be a doozy. They're facing Cincinnati and Milwaukee.
Oh, the Padres are?
Oh, shit. I'm an idiot.
It's because they just played the Dodgers.
That's okay. My name is Michael. I know nothing.
He's probably pitching Tuesday or Wednesday against
Taco Bell the movie. The Padres are off on Monday,
Okay.
but then they're back in biz on Tuesday, going head-to-head with your favorite team, the Diamondbacks, in Arizona. So they'll have a 6-game slate. And it looks like Weathers will probably get, as of now, the Diamondbacks on Wednesday. So would you like that in Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be putting a bid in for him. Just how high is that bid? Is triple digits too much? I think someone's going to go triple digits for him because of how well he looked against the Dodgers. I'm not sure how many innings this guy's going to get, though. I mean, he has less than 100 innings in professional ball. He's got 15 innings in the majors.
Okay, let's say you spent $1,000 FAAB budget. Let's say you've spent $150 already. Are you willing to put another 10% of your bankroll on a guy like Weathers, or is it too flimsy? Look what's happened with some of the biggest FAAB bidders. McKinstry, IL.
Injured. Mm-hmm.
Merriweather, IL. Mm-hmm. And people put shitloads of money down on these guys.
And then I got Akil Baddoo not doing anything anymore.
Right. I love Akil Baddoo. We all knew it was coming.
FAAB bids on guys that are rookies are dangerous, or guys that we've never seen, break out at all. I'd rather spend more money on a guy that we've seen it before. Let's say, a guy like Evan Longoria. Let's say if he was available, and at least he's not healthy right now, but at least he's a guy who's done it before, and if he's playing well, okay, I could get maybe a couple months out of him. Yeah. The lowest end of it will be at least he's still producing for me. Ryan Weathers, he pitched into the 6th inning against the Dodgers the other day. How often is he going to do that? Is he even going to be in that rotation come September?
Anthony Gialdi's here, the guy who made my shirt. Anthony, what does the Vegas thing mean? I want to know. That's the one thing we need to know, Anthony. Let us know in the live chat there. But yes, you're right. Is it worth it for Ryan Weathers? I don't know. Maybe. I just don't think it's worth spending more than like $60. I really don't. Okay.
That's probably not going to be the winning bid. I have a feeling a winning bid will probably be triple digits.
Yes.
Which I would not be uncomfortable with it. Now, let's say you haven't been able to hit on any of your FAAB bids and you got like $950 left still.
Yeah,
we're going into what? We're going into week 5?
Yes. I don't think you can trust a guy who just shows up on the scene for permanence. I can't put triple digits. I can't put more than 10% of my budget on a guy that I just don't know where he'll be in a month. Who knows?
You don't know where he's been in the month. Now, I know he's a big-time prospect. He was a first-round draft pick. But he hasn't seen a ton of major league hitters yet. Like, there's no way he's just going to step out and have a Ubaldo Jimenez first half of a season that happened a decade and a half ago or whatever. I don't see that from him.
Remember that? 15-1. Ubaldo in Coors. It really happened, dude. We were there. We lived it, man.
That season, that set him up to basically keep getting contracts over and over again for the next decade.
Oh, yeah.
He was never good again.
The promise. Yes, the promise. Anthony Gialdi says he gave him out the T-shirts, the Kansas City Moose, in Vegas at the NFBC to all the cool guys. And now
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. All right.
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you for letting me be part of the crew. Gialdi is cool, says Yancey. Can't wait to get a green Moose shirt one day if my grades are good enough. Hang in there, Yancey. Don't give up. I know it's going to happen someday.
So back to Weathers. Would you put more money into a guy like an Alex Wood over a Ryan Weathers? Because we've seen it from Wood before. He's been injured the last couple seasons, but he's looked pretty good through 2 starts already.
Dude, I saw these stat lines. Alex Wood against the Marlins just pissed me off. It's not real. It's not real. Aren't both his first starts against the Marlins, by the way? Wasn't it in Miami and then he pitched against them in San Francisco?
Correct. Yeah, he went 5 innings first outing, 4 strikeouts, no walks, no runs. And the second time on the 23rd, he went 7 innings, 7 Ks, 1 walk, 1 run.
Alex Wood is a ticking time bomb. He always has been. Every time, he's like The Giants are incredible. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Some type of magic powder or potion that they've put inside of the clubhouse, because all these pitchers they're getting are kind of similar. Gausman, Wood, they're like so similar in the spec that you can never trust them consistently, but they've shown flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Alex Wood. I've tried it other years and it worked out well, but at this point, when's he going to get hurt? Isn't it always a matter of like his back? I mean, is his back really healthy now? Is he fully recovered and ready to rock?
Well, the question is, do you trust
$100 on Alex Wood?
The question is, would you trust him over Ryan Weathers?
I think I actually would. But that's a tough one. That is a really
because
really
because
tough
of
one.
because of the injury history for sure. He hasn't been healthy in 3 years.
Yes. That's the concern here is Wood has shown he's been an all-star before and he's put up full season's worth of numbers. Weathers has never done that before, and he's going to get tired or not be able to be allowed to pitch enough because he's a youngster and we got to take care of his little baby arm. You know, that's how it works. That's just how the game's played. So I guess Wood over Weathers, but I wouldn't spend triple digits on either. I wouldn't.
Wood will be going up against Colorado on Wednesday, which Colorado's bats are starting to heat up. As we said the other day, Trevor Story, grand slam today. So he's starting to really, really catch fire.
But you mentioned our guy earlier in the show, Spencer Turnbull. That's the guy I would spend money on. I trust him. He's got, I think it's looking right now like 2 starts versus Kansas City and then one at New York. But New York will have to prove that their offense is good. I would pitch anybody in New York right now. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I agree. Yeah, it's not like they're putting up 10 runs a game. I mean, they've won, I think, 3 of their last 4, but they haven't scored a ton of runs. They lost today, only scored, I think, 3 runs. I think they lost 5-3.
Yeah.
Turnbull will have the Royals on Monday, and then it looks
it's a Monday matinee, too, by the way. I hate the Monday early games. 1:10, right here in Detroit, Deary. We should go.
How does that affect you?
What? It's just too early.
What are you doing at 1 o'clock on a Monday? Nothing.
I don't know. It's just we need more time for like the first game goes live. I just think it's too soon. I want the first game on a Monday to be at night. That's all I know.
Okay. And then I think he'll have Saturday against the Yankees.
Speaking of 2-start possibilities that will destroy your life, Brad Keller's going against Turnbull tomorrow. Okay. I think that qualifies him as a 2-start pitcher who absolutely burned my ass this week. He got shelled in his start earlier in the week. I was so pissed. It was stupid. It was against Tampa Bay, I believe, and it was a garbage-ass start. I've never liked Brad Keller, but I listened to other people that I respect telling me that, Brad Keller's got,
You got talked into it again, man. We just talked about this last pod.
I know. Well, this was part of that original rant, too, was the Keller nightmare. So.
I don't like him either.
What is there to like about Keller? I mean, he goes against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won that game 14-7, so it ended up being a total blowout on Tuesday, and Keller's the one who blasted out the festivities by giving us 1 2/3 innings, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, only 3 hits, but I'd have to look more into the contact to see what kind of contact he was giving up. It just doesn't look very good.
I mean, okay, in 54 innings last year, he looked good, but his strikeout, he doesn't strike people out. For being a guy who's 6'4", 6'5", 250, he doesn't strike people out, really? And he's giving up home runs like crazy this year.
I didn't know he's that big. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's a monster. Yeah. 6'5", 250.
Okay, so Brad Keller, Spencer Turnbull, Ryan Weathers. Who do you like of those 3?
Probably Turnbull.
I agree.
Probably Turnbull.
What if you threw Alex Wood in there?
I think it's still Turnbull. I don't like Alex Wood against Colorado. I mean, Turnbull will probably get a loss, even though he'll probably give up under 3 runs because the Tigers aren't going to score on Tuesday or Monday, whenever it is tomorrow.
What about Domingo Germán? Is he back for the Yankees?
I believe he pitched earlier this week.
After his best start of the season, is he back though? Is he back for good? Do you trust him? Because he did have a nice start here, and now he's got 2 starts this week, and that's the kind of guy who he can be really, really good. And if you can pick him up to start 2 games this week as a streamer, I kind of like that. He's had a really nice career at times. He only got held up by all the off the field stuff that happened. I'm not condoning it. Obviously, he's an asshole. He made mistakes. Life goes on. I understand that, but his curveball looks pretty good.
You got to catch him in like these hot stretches because over a course of a season, he really hasn't looked that great. 2018, 85 innings, 2019, 143 innings, 4.03 ERA. That's pretty good. Strikeout numbers were close to 10 on K per nine. Didn't really give up a ton of home runs. You got to catch him in those hot streaks. I think it was 19 where he started out like really, really hot. He's a guy who wasn't drafted in many leagues. And then he got scooped up a lot. He was a type of guy that people were holding on to and keeping for 2020. And then, of course, we didn't see him last year.
Well, he's got Baltimore and the Tigers. Like we already covered the Yankee schedule. That's decent. The Tigers is great. That's great. Baltimore's the only risk there.
Yeah, Baltimore's hit or miss.
That's dynamite. That's great analysis. Thank you.
Utah, give me 2.
Baltimore's hit or miss. Thanks for coming on, everybody. We're out of here. See ya.
Well, Austin Hayes hit 2 home runs.
No,
did you see that?
Oh, I did not see that. Congratulations, Austin Hayes. Good to be back, living the life.
They look good. He pulled one to left field and then put one out in right center. Looked really good off Luzardo. Both of them are off Luzardo today.
Hey, right center. That's kind of where we sat when we saw that game that Mike Clevenger pitched in 2018. Remember that? Ryan says, no other Yankees starter besides Garrett Cole can even last 5 innings.
Tyon was looking good today, and then he fell apart.
But Herman might be the guy who can. Is his follow-up
That's
comment.
correct,
So,
yeah.
Okay. So out there, you guys on the live stream, would you rather have Alex Wood, Domingo Herman, Spencer Turnbull, Ryan Weathers? Let us know here. Let us know what you think. I think the bids here allow you a lot of guys that are decent enough where nobody should be too pricey. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys here in the fray that are not really separating themselves as 2-star guys this week so much. So it might be a way where you can sneak in on somebody like a Herman if they're still available in your league. Austin Gomber's a guy we haven't mentioned. Austin Gomber was last week. Shout out to our guy Bubba, Bench with Bubba. Great podcast, by the way. Listen to it. KC Bubba. Not from Kansas City. It was his sneaky pickup of last week. And that was a little, he put out a tweet out on Sunday and said, hey, can you guess who my sneaky pickup is? And I thought it was Willie Calhoun, but I was wrong. It was good old Mr. Gomber. But Gomber's got 2 starts, it looks like, and he's been decent. He's pitched into the 6. He's pitched 6 innings against the Astros, against the Dodgers. He went into the 7th against the Giants. His first start of the year against the Dodgers was rough. He had 7 walks, but since then he's got the walks under control. 4 walks, 2 walks, 2 walks. He's been able to strike out guys pretty well. Earned runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run. You can be happy with that. You can certainly be fine with Austin Gomber doing that. Who does he have this week? What does this mean? More like Austin Bays, am I right? What does that mean? Like he's hot? You want to bang him? A bae is like a hot chick or a hot woman or something? Is that what that means?
I don't know this Florida lingo that Yancey's talking about.
Bae. Bae is like your bae, like your lady or your, I don't know, your lover. The one you love.
Before
right?
anyone else.
I don't get... Yancey, you have to enlighten us. I don't know what this means.
Yancey, we're 40. We don't understand this millennial lingo.
Hey, come on now. Yancey's he's just not like a child. But this week, Austin Gomber is going head-to-head against San Francisco and Arizona, both on the road. Austin Gomber gets that classic Coors. That classic Coors fear. Like, oh, he's a Colorado pitcher, so you instantly dismiss him. But you just laid out that some of the stats look not too shabby. And I think
he's been dependable.
Yeah, I would think I would put a cheap bid on him this week at like, I don't know, maybe something like $12. See if $12 can get the job done. So, and if you lose that one, you can be like, okay, someone wanted to pay more. I'm not going to pay more. You can live with it. But make sure, more than anything else, and this is something I learn every week, back up your bids. Triple back your bids. For the same guy, if you're going to pick up Austin Gomber, make sure that you have 3 more guys behind it. Like Austin Gomber, if there's 3 guys you can drop, then you want to have 3 bids for Austin Gomber with each of those guys that you want to drop, just in case one of them doesn't work out. Because you don't want to be left with zeros. You don't want to be left with nothing. You don't want to be sitting there saying, oh, man, I should have put in more bids, and now my bids didn't work out. You have to back up your bids. That's something I
learned that in the first couple of weeks. There was only like a couple bids. Now I'm doing like 6-7 bids a week just on guys that I need to get rid of.
Wow. So, yeah, there's a JT Brubaker is a guy. It looks like he's a 1 start now. Never mind. No JT Brubaker. Adam Wainwright, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh.
He had 10 strikeouts the other day. How does this?
I know
guy
it's
do
so
this?
dumb.
I was going against him in a head-to-head, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
So dumb.
39 years old. This guy's still doing it.
Yep. Ryan says, I've been stuck with bums for a week for not backing. Exactly. Ryan, you understand what we're talking about here. Welcome to hell. God, it's a nightmare. You don't want to get stuck like that. Nobody wants to be stuck with a bum, unless it's Madison Bumgarner, who threw a no-hitter apparently today. That's not real. It was not a real no-hitter. Let's make that very, very clear. Not real. No. Bullshit. 7-inning no-hitter is not real, and no one's going to tell me otherwise. So, Nate Pearson could be back. I think he comes off the IL today or tomorrow. So it could be Pearson time. And if he's on the waiver wire, not to put in a bid, I'd put in a lot of money for Pearson. I think he's a great pitcher. He's got a bad rap, some bogus injuries. And for some reason, nobody kept him on their IL or did not stash him on a bench. I think I'd be willing to put, $85,
Wow.
$87. Yeah,
Wow.
This is a real big time pitcher we're talking about here.
He's thrown 18 innings in the major leagues. 18 innings.
Yeah, okay, well.
18 innings.
Who do you trust more, Ryan Pearson or Ryan Pearson?
Nate Pearson.
Nate Pearson or Ryan Weathers?
I mean, Nate Pearson throws 100 miles per hour. He's got incredible stuff.
He gave up 5 runs on 2 2/3 innings at an alternate site scrimmage game on Saturday. He is close.
There's some Pearson love. I mean, this guy was their top pitching prospect a couple of years ago. Oh, man. Jeez.
He might need one more start before he comes off and is ready to go. So this might be the week to pounce, though.
I think it's the $85 might be too much.
Why?
This
is a top 50 overall prospect in the major leagues.
Yeah, you just said it. Prospect. He's a prospect, Mike. $85 for a prospect. I was thinking more of like $20 to $30.
Wow, that's too low. If we're talking triple digits for other guys that like Ryan Weathers and Alex Wood and people are going crazy about these guys.
Ryan Weathers has pitched this year. Nate Pearson hasn't.
But he will. Come on. You have
to. Anybody picking up Ryan Weathers last week for $100 or for $85?
No, they were not.
But someone's going to pick up Nate Pearson for $85 this week.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. Oh, you're breaking news from Ryan in the live stream here. Tommy Pham injured in Sunday Night Baseball and yanked from the game.
It was only a matter of time, right?
In other news, rain is wet. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, Tommy Pham is the ticking time bomb, just like Alex Wood. Same thing.
It's amazing. Like we talk about, does injury prone? Is that real? Does it happen? Like it really is with some of these guys, like a Tommy Pham. These guys just can't go through a season without getting injured.
Yeah. Let's talk relievers here a little bit. Josh Domont got the save for the Royals yesterday. The Royals have had, I believe, is this correct? 6 different players with a save? 6. I'm not kidding. I'm not making that up.
Well, Stomont just came off the IL. I have a feeling like he would have moved into that closer role a little earlier to take over for Holland if he hadn't gotten injured. I think now that he's been placed in that role, I think it's his for the rest of the season unless he completely falls apart.
Ooh, okay. So Stonemont's the guy. So we should be bidding triple digits? There's too many players in that bullpen, though, to put triple digits, isn't it?
I know, but it's interesting. We've seen it the last few weeks. Lou Trevino goes for $250, and that's another bullpen that's crazy. Like just thinking back the last 3-4 weeks. Think about like when Julian Merriweather that first week, there was $200 bids for Julian Merriweather. People are going to bid high for guys that step in and become possible closer. And he stepped in earlier this week. I think he's probably going to supplant himself as the closer. I think he's got the best stuff out of that pen. The issue is he's young.
Wow. Here it is. Greg Holland, 2 saves. Scott Barlow, 1 save. Wade Davis, 1 save. Jesse Hahn, 1 save. Josh Stomont, 1 save. And Kyle Zimmer, 1 save. All on the Royals. Isn't that incredible?
That's nuts. I myself would not put $100 in on Josh Stomont just because it is a little volatile with the amount of other guys that are there. What's Holland's injury? Do you know?
Is he hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I missed this. I can't keep up on everything. Gosh, I try so
All right.
hard. But
That's why I asked you, because I thought you kept on it.
I try so... I didn't know that he was injured. Nobody told me anything.
It was an undisclosed injury.
He was activated from the IL
yesterday.
On Saturday.
Okay,
yeah.
Yesterday.
So he's good to go. He's not good to go. Is that what you're telling me? Now I feel like an idiot right now.
Well, he hasn't looked good through his first 7 innings.
So you think he is injured? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I thought he was injured, but it looks like he just came back. And the injury was undisclosed.
Right. Yeah, so he's back. So whatever it was, bleh. Probably maybe it was a reaction to a vaccine or something. I don't know.
Is he back, and is he the closer again?
Well, he is for now, but Stonemont's the guy you just said he was.
Well, I don't know what the fucking Royals are thinking. I think so. I drafted Stoumont in one of my leagues because I said by the time we would get to June, Stoumont would be the closer there because I just didn't trust Greg Holland over the full season.
Okay. Well, Yancey says there's been a hot closer to bid on every week. Of course that's true, Yancey, obviously. Ryan says he was gone for 1 day because of the COVID shot. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, Craig Holland. Even Diego Castillo of the Rays, he had a reaction. There's reactions. There's side effects to these COVID vaccines, and people need a day off.
Thank you for helping us through this pod.
Yeah,
audience.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yancey. Thank you, Ryan.
we would not be able to get anything right if it wasn't for you guys.
We've had 3 different people help us out with the Sam Hinkie, and there you go, the update on Holland. Thank you so much. That's why we love our community. In fact, this is a perfect time to take an opportunity to check in on our latest Palazzo podcast invitational standings. Dun, dun, dun. It's the end of a week. Another week in the book. Nothing's changed. Is it bad?
I'm still in 14th place.
Is that true?
Yeah, I hate my team.
Oh, no. You think you're screwed because you're stuck with it?
No, I think we're screwed because we drafted too early.
Oh.
No, I can't make excuses. I'm the one that drafted this team.
You must.
It's all on me.
You must take, responsibility for your
That's
actions. Right. If you make a mistake, then live with it, move forward. We've all made mistakes. I'll make more mistakes every day I make a mistake. Check this out. Overall standings, it's Richard Sands in first place of the overall Palazzo Podcast Invitational with Andrew Poplin right behind him. As always, these guys are battling back and forth. It's 496.5 to 495.5. What a ball game we got going here. It's a barn burner. Maybe we should do bets. Maybe we should bet on this. No, we don't want to bet on this. What am I talking about? That's stupid.
You're going to bet on other people's fantasy teams? That's just dumb.
Sounds like the most... Here we go. There's Michael Govier in 46th place. Look at me. God, that's embarrassing. And then Deary.
I'm in 56th place.
I'm sorry, Deary. You're in 56th place.
I'm supposed to be an analyst? What is this? I don't know anything, people.
There's our buddy Joel in 44th. Joel's hanging in there. That's fun.
Oh, thanks, Joel.
But yeah, the Palazzo Podcast is far from older. Our pal Anthony Gialdi, who got me this lovely shirt that I'm wearing today, he's in 19th place. Mark Kiefer in the top 5. Check out Mark Kiefer, by the way. He's doing DFS work, and it's fantastic. He's writing for Rotoballer, so please check out Mark Kiefer's DFS stuff. He knows what he's talking about. He's got a lot of experience. He personally filled me in on a ton of good shit. You don't want to miss it. And Russell Withers, the guy who makes the greatest gifts in the game. He's in 9th place, so Russell's hanging around. Good for you, Russell. Yay! All right, back to relief pitching. So I think Stonemont's the guy going forward. It'll be Stonemont and Holland, but Stonemont will rise to the top because Holland's inconsistent. As long as Stonemont's healthy, he's got the stuff, and he'll take the job. I really believe you should bid big time on Stonemont if he's available. Do it now where it might be a little cheaper before it becomes obvious that he's the closer later. That's how you win. Get ahead of the game.
Can't wait a week, because if you wait a week and he's still out there, it may be $150, $160 for him.
Yeah. Otherwise, relief pitching wise this week, I don't know, man. There's not a, right. Jake Diekman got a couple saves this week, but wasn't that just because Trevino was overused?
They brought Trevino early into one of the games. They also had a double header this week, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I think this is the week to speculate and get ahead of it in terms of guys who could take closer jobs. Pay for it now at a cheaper price rather than wait until one of these guys actually get the job. It's kind of like, it's like you're predicting. You're like with prospects. So you're waiting for a prospect to burst, so you get on them early, so you hopefully have them by the time they bloom into the wonderful player that they will become, right?
Like stocks,
bonds, Dow Jones, shit like that. I know the Reds bullpen is a mess, which is unfortunate because I thought they got a lot of arms, but it's a nightmare.
Amir Garrett is awful.
I think he had they got blown up that one game this week where they lost 14-11, and the bullpen was very much responsible for that. Mm-hmm. I think Amir Garrett gave up 9 earned runs recently. I liked Lucas Sims. The elbow injury didn't seem to be a thing. Remember that preseason? People said, Lucas Sims got elbow issue, watch out. But he's healthy, as far as we know. And then there's TJ Antone, who could end up being a starter still. I think you should, if Antone's available, I really like him. Do you like Antone regardless of his role?
I think Antone and Sims are their 2 best guys in their bullpen. But the problem is, Antone might be a guy who ends up starting. I mean, like we just talked about, Amir Garrett's been terrible. Sean Doolittle has been just as bad. If you put Antone into the rotation, that really leaves you thin in the bullpen. I mean, you got Jose De Leon, Carson Fulmer. We all know how much garbage he'll give you. Sal Romano, that guy's been around for a bit. He's not that great. You need some back end help, and if you put Antone into the rotation here, then you're taking a good guy out of the bullpen.
Tyler O'Neill came back today, hit 2 home runs. He's off the IL. That's good news. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely somebody I would target.
I have a bid in for him as well.
Of course you do, because you're a smart man. And that's why you are part of the Hey, it's Rico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast, which is part of the Roto Fanatic Podcast Network. We're doing our live weekly fabulous streamers show. We do it every Sunday evening. We talk about the week that is coming. We've already laid out some of the schedule stuff. That's what we do here on the Palazzo Podcast. 2 L's to the
Utah. Give me 2.
There's a lot of teams with 7 games, which makes me happy. But as far as relief pitching, it looks pretty crappy. I don't really have much other advice other than throw a dart at JB Bukauskas if you want. They're a mess. Crichton doesn't have the job. Ginkel doesn't have the job. I don't know.
Crichton got hurt this week as well. Bukauskas has come in and he's come in 2 games and looked pretty good. I mean, the talk is he might end up taking over that closer role eventually if he, continues to move forward, looking pretty good.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's it. I mean, if we already said earlier in the week that Matt Barnes will eventually implode, but it's not happening yet.
It hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet. But if you want to get ahead of the game, remember it's probably Ottavino. And then there's this guy that somebody made me aware of today for the first time. Good old Whitlock. You know about this guy, Whitlock?
Yeah, Garrett Whitlock.
He's
former
amazing.
Yankee. Former Yankee, right?
Oh, he's a former Yankee? I didn't know that.
I thought he was in the Yankees system a few years ago.
I had no idea who the hell this guy was, and I got tweeted at today from our good friend of the show, Mr. Darren S., Canada Dude, as he is known on Twitter. And he said, hey, what do you think about Whitlock or Graveman or Antone? And I was like, Whitlock? Who the hell's Whitlock? So I had to investigate.
He was drafted by the Yankees.
Well, I investigated and found out all about him, and he's really pitching great. He's had, I think, 11 innings or 11 strikeouts, no runs given up yet. He's been fantastic so far.
And this guy was a starter in the Yankees system.
He was
a starter. He was a starter in 2018 in A+ ball, 70 innings, 2.44 ERA. In 2019, 14 games started, 70 innings, 3.07 ERA as well.
Well, 11 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, no earned runs yet, man. I didn't know who this guy was. Now I know who he is. I want to thank our guy, Darren, again. Canada Dude. Thank you, Darren S., for helping me see the light on Garrett Whitlock. I've actually bookmarked him and put him on my watch list in a bunch of leagues now because that's good stuff. And if he rises into that role, if Barnes fails, if Ottavino gets hurt, something happens.
There's probably going to be injuries at some point. It happens everywhere.
Of course, you're right. And that's a really good team where saves will be available. So just throw that in your back pocket as a little gift from our buddy Darren. As far as hitters this week, I don't really think, again, there's somebody I'm dying to go to the list and get. It will all depend on your league, and who's available, because it's not all going to be the same. It's not a universal list of free agents in every baseball league, right? There's might be guys available that wouldn't be available in other leagues, so that's dependent on you. But a guy like Elvis Andrus is on a team.
That's who I was going to mention.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead then. By all means.
Here's why I was going to mention him. He had 3 stolen bases this week. If Elvis Andrus can steal bases like he has in the past, like if he has the opportunity to steal 15 to 20 bases, this is an excellent FAAB pickup. And he's getting all the at-bats in Oakland for a team that's been mashing ball. They finally lost today after going on, 13, 14-game run right there. But this is a guy who kind of went by the wayside as he, got traded to Oakland in the offseason, coming over from Texas, where he was, one of the better Texas Rangers of the last 10 years. And he's kind of been under the radar, started off really, really slow with Oakland, but he had a pretty good week. Five hits, 5 runs, RBI, only struck out 4 times, couple walks, but the 3 stolen bases are really key. I talked about this a couple weeks ago on the FAAB show, that stolen bases are really, really hard to find in FAAB bids. And shit, if Elvis Andrus can steal double-digit bases, if he can steal 3 a week like he's doing right now, this is an incredible opportunity to go out and scoop up some steals.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Excellent analysis, Deary. Well done. Elvis Andrus will probably be cheap. Won't cost you much either, I assume, if he's available on your free agency wire. Some people may have given up on Willie Castro of our own Detroit Tigers because we already mentioned the Tigers' offense is stinky. PU. Gross. Stinks.
Forever.
No, it won't last forever, but if he's available, I think you should go get Willie. He did hit a home run over the weekend. That's promising. And he does have talent. He can hit, and it just can't get much worse, can it?
No, it's been really bad. He was excellent last year, and he's swinging at a lot of stuff out of the zone. He's not being patient at the plate. That home run he hit yesterday against Singer, which was a low and in curveball that he hooked over the fence, looked really nice. This guy bat for a high average all through the minors, and it, like you said, it can't get any worse than it started right now. He's sitting at 216 for an average. This guy has power. He's got a little bit of speed as well. He stole as many as 17 stolen bases in the minors back in 2019 in AAA with the Tigers. So I think it's going to start to come around for him. He's got good eligibility. I think he's got shortstop and second base eligibility. So you could probably get him on the cheap as well right now.
Cheapy. We love cheap. That's a great piece of analysis. Deary, I think Willie Castro is underrated now. He was overrated probably coming into the season, too much hype, and now he's gone under, which is good news for you guys. If you own him, hang on to him. And if he's free agent, put $32 on him. $32. That's my random bid number right there.
32.
Yeah, there you go.
I think you can get him for 15.
That'd be great. Yeah, I would hope so. But just to be safe, Adolis Garcia. Adolis! We talked about him on Friday night when drunken Ryan, what is this, Brian K., our guy who always listens and watches the show, he did admit he was a little intoxicated, had a few glasses of wine, and he mistakenly said Adonis Garcia, but Adolis Garcia is who we are talking about. Texas Rangers outfielder. He's got speed, he's got power, he strikes out a lot.
That's an understatement.
He's hit 4, yeah, it is. He hit 4 home runs in 5 games, I believe. He was on a tear over the last week. Ride the hot hand or not?
You got to ride the hot hand. I think he's going to be the biggest bid in my TGFBI league this week. I do have a bid in for him. I think it's going to end up being higher than the bid that I put in. But he's got 5 home runs. He's been batting 5th for the Texas Rangers, who they finally have moved
cleanup too.
Yeah, they've finally moved Solak up to the 2 spot, which excites me because he just keeps getting on base. And although Joey Gallo is going to bat 310, he's still going to get on base every game. So there's a ton of opportunities RBI wise for Adolis, and this guy who's shown power in the past. 2018 in St. Louis, he had 22 home runs in AAA, and then 2019 in AAA as well, had 32 home runs with 96 RBIs, 96 runs, and even 14 stolen bases. So this guy's got a little bit of speed. The issue is the strikeouts. He's probably going to go through these weeks where he strikes out 2-3 times a game, which can become frustrating, but he's the hot hand right now.
And no walks, right? He's just not going to get on base enough. In OBP leagues, I would ignore him, but if you want to ride a hot hand for a week, then who cares? I bet he'll go with a lot more. He might have already been bid last week because he was already getting the love. But if he's still available, take a shot. I'm not a big fan of Adolis Garcia, but if you want to ride a hot hand, put down $57 on it. Screw it. Good friend of the show, Alan Sturrett. Alan is a very, very important member of our community. He's a rare patron of our show. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alan. We love your support every single time. Alan says, Billy Hamilton, ? No pop, but La Russa doesn't trust Vaughn. If Hamilton could get on base, he could help a lot with cheap steals. I just picked him up in case he starts to do something. I mean, that could happen.
He's not going to get every day at bats. That's the problem. He's already been on the IL once this year.
No.
If you want Billy Hamilton, go out and grab him. I can't do the Billy Hamilton. I've done it too many times in the past where I'm like, man, this guy's going to steal 70 bases from me. Oh, no, it doesn't happen because he batted 160.
Well, recently he's had 2 at-bats over the last 10 days or so. Yeah, he's not a lot going on right now. But yes, if La Russa goes with him, it's worth a flyer. But I think you want to pay a very, very, very low price. You already said you picked him up, Alan. That's cool. I'm not a big Billy Hamilton fan anymore. I don't think you are either. You're just saying, hey, low risk, possible return on reward. Yeah. But if it's a weekly lineup setting, that's a different story. Yeah. That's a big risk.
Daily lineup where La Russa is going to put him in there, have him play in the outfield to spell Andrew Vaughn, who's never played left field before and is also off to a very slow start. You get 5 starts out of Billy Hamilton in a week, and he can at least get on base a couple times. The stolen base opportunities will be there. So, I mean, to my point of stolen bases being very hard to find in the free agent market, he certainly has the speed. It's just whether or not he can get on base.
And Drelton Simmons just came off the IL as well. He's on a good team offensively, the Twins. So if you want to take a chance on Simmons, put $15, $10, $8, I don't know, $6 on Drelton Simmons.
A decent range.
Yeah, if he's going to play every day, they want him to play every day because he has a great glove, he could still score runs and be a factor. So I would definitely take a look if you're looking for shortstop help in fantasy baseball.
What about Rougned Odor?
Oh, God, there it is. I was hoping we get away with it not talking about him, but you're right. We must talk about Rougned Odor. How many home runs did he have over last week? Like 5?
He's got 3 home runs on the season. He's batted cleanup twice in the last week for the Yankees.
Well, he's been on a tear in that Cleveland series. That's every time I watched a highlight. He had a home run on Saturday and Friday. Today he went 0 for 3. This is classic Rougned Odor. It couldn't be any more typical, right?
Yeah,
this is what he does.
He's not striking out right now. So right now he's not doing what he would normally do, which is hit home runs and strike out and bat 205.
That's a great point, though. We talked about the Yankees have a 7-game schedule, and it's a doozy against 4 Oriole games and 3 Tiger games. Right now, Odor's hot. If he's hot, you got 7 games, and you got 7 games against teams that aren't that great. This is probably a great call, Deary. In fact, it might be worth more than it would usually be worth if you're looking for middle infield help at second base.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to see, is he going to sit against lefties, though, because he has a left-handed bat.
But they like him right now. He's hot. I mean, he's playing every day recently.
I mean, they don't have anybody else. Like LeMahieu's got to play first, and he's got to play second right now for them. They don't really have anybody else because Voigt's still on the DL. He's
played 4 straight games, and now he's coming home. And I assume I'll have to take a look who's starting. But you got, like I said, Matt Harvey, a righty. Jorge Lopez is a righty. There's plenty of righties in the Orioles rotation to feast on. So that's a great call. You're really, really good point. All right, well, we got to get the show kind of wrapping up here because I got another show to do, the First Day Podcast, which is about mental health, which is very important, everybody. But as we close the FAAB show, don't forget, we got 3 shows a week, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. We are here for you. This coming week, we're going to have some guests return. We haven't had guests on in a while. We took a break, just me and Deary, getting cozy. But we're going to have on 2 guests this week, I believe. So stay tuned for that. There'll be more information on that on our Twitter feed, which is at Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's and 2 Z's.
Utah, give me 2.
Any final words, Deary, for the coming week?
Oh, I'm looking forward to the guests that we're going to have this week. Wednesday and Friday. Then we'll do the FAAB show again on Sunday. And I'm really interested to see how my FAAB bids go tonight. I got 7 bids out there in my TGFBI. I hope I get some luck. There's just guys on my team I need to get rid of. So this is why I need to hit on some of these bids here. So Razzball, I'm still doing pretty good in Razzball, second in my league. And I think I'm maybe top 25, 26 overall. My head-to-head leagues, I'm okay, middle of the pack. One of them I'm in second place, which is my 16-team biggest money league. So I'm doing well there, and still excited about baseball 5 weeks in. What about you, Mike? What are you looking forward to this upcoming week?
Well, I'm not looking forward to the fact that Toronto, Pittsburgh, Washington, and San Diego have 5 games. So that's 2 off days for those 4 teams: Blue Jays, Pirates, Nats, and Padres. So you might want to avoid picking anybody up if you're looking for a full slate of action this week. That's an important note. Otherwise, everybody else is playing 6 and 7 games. A lot of 7-game teams this week. That's what I'm looking forward to. And you know where I learned that from?
Where did you learn that from?
I learned it from rotofanatic.com. I'm looking at Crosby Spencer's schedule factors. It's telling me everything I need to know. It's fantastic. Go to rotofanatic.com, check it out, read Crosby's schedule factors. It's going to give you who's got the best schedule in the coming week based on where they're playing and why. And he ranks it and everything. It's all interactive. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to another week of baseball. The grind is officially on. By the end of this coming week, it's going to be May technically, so we're heading into the warmer days. Good times are happening, and we got great feedback from everybody. Every show, we get regular viewers and listeners. Like, it used to be times where there'd be like 0 people watching. We never have that anymore. We have at least like 5 people watching every time now. It's fantastic.
Keep the questions coming. I love the trade analysis. Throw some trades out to us. Some FAAB bids. It was great. You threw some FAAB bids at us today, which is excellent. And hopefully we'll get the same action going next Sunday.
Yeah, I hope we answered your questions or we got to where you wanted to go. There's a lot of hitters available this week, but none of them really blow my mind. It's a slower week for what's going on. The people we want you guys to focus on, and that we'll be focusing on ourselves, we definitely covered. But hitter-wise, it's kind of blah right now. Not a lot of guys that I'm like, oh, you got to get that guy.
No, it's a lot of guys that share time. Like a guy like Sam Haggerty had a really nice week, but he's a guy who shares time in Seattle, and he's probably going to get no time once Jared Kalenic comes up.
You got it, dearie. I agree. Okay. That's it for the Palazzo Podcast. We'll be back Wednesday, and we will talk baseball. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate your time. Until then, keep your head up.